Boa noite a todos, meu nome é Gustavo e eu vou ser o host do lançamento de hoje. Há poucos minutos atrás a gente teve o lançamento da Arianespace, o primeiro lançamento que a Arianespace teve, e esse lançamento ele serviu como uma forma de aprendizado para a própria empresa. Eles ressaltaram também principalmente que eles estavam realizando esse lançamento para realizar também no futuro algumas melhorias e também para saber como que o foguete ele estaria operando. Então vamos dar uma olhada no replay desse lançamento.
Columna 11, EcoStartup, sobre 9, porras 8, 7, 6, no potencia 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, T0. Vamos, Miura. Ignición. Hasta que se cerró. Entonces, debemos poner el PV. Hacemos correcto. Hacemos correcto. No hay incendios en rampa. Rampa perfecta.
Seguimiento automático. Seguimiento automático.
Tema 25.
Trayectoria nominal, seguimiento.
Atlántico, propulsión nominal. Etapa nominal. Técnica nominal. Comportamiento de flotación nominal.
Então, como nós podemos ver, o lançamento ele ocorreu como esperado. A equipe da Arianespace ficou muito animada com o lançamento que ocorreu como esperado. E o lançamento de hoje que a gente vai ter agora, o nosso último lançamento do dia, para algumas pessoas que estão meio por fora, esse é o quarto lançamento do dia. E de certa forma, um dos dias mais agitados que a gente tem no ano, por conta desse número de lançamentos que nós temos. A carga é a Theos, a Triton e alguns outros satélites. A Theos-2 é o primeiro satélite de observação da Terra, da Tailândia. Ele foi construído pela Airbus Defence and Space baseada na plataforma Airbus S. Ele é projetado para mediações ópticas com uma resolução terrestre aproximadamente 2 metros. A Triton, ou Formosat-7R, é um satélite adicional da NSTO, adicionado à constelação conjunta Taiwan, Estados Unidos, Formosat-7 ou Cosmic 2 para coletar dados atmosféricos para a previsão do tempo e para pesquisas sobre a ionosfera, clima e gravidade. Sua carga útil reflexiona a GNSS e pode ser usada para calcular a velocidade do vento nas superfícies do mar. A proba VCC, Projeto de Autonomia Bordo Vegetação Companion CubeSat 12.1, é uma missão que voará uma versão reduzida do instrumento de monitoramento de vegetação a bordo do Proba-V, que é de observação da Terra para conduzir experimentos combinados, observações com seus antecessores. Aqui a gente também tem diversos outros satélites, como também o Lançar, líder seguidor 1 e 2, avançado sistema de nanosatélites para pesquisa de observação da Terra, é um conjunto de 3 CubeSats de observação da Terra com câmeras pancromáticas e hiperspectrais do INTA e da Espanha para monitorar a qualidade de água no interior dos reservatórios na Península Ibérica. A gente está com imagens ao vivo agora de Kourou, na área de lançamento do Ariane 1. O custo de lançamento do foguete de hoje, que é o Vega, é de cerca de 37 milhões. Ele varia muito, 37 a 50 milhões. Ele tem um comprimento de cerca de 20,9 metros. Ele tem um diâmetro de 3,25 metros e o seu voo inaugural foi realizado no dia 13 de 2 de 2012. A massa do lançamento é cerca de 137 toneladas e o seu empuxo total é de 2.974 kN. Relembrando que todas essas informações vão estar disponíveis no nosso site oficial. Tantos vão estar disponíveis também para quem quer ter mais uma facilidade assim para acessar no site. Ou é só pesquisar no Google ou acessar a nossa bio do Instagram e também a nossa bio do YouTube, Twitch e do X. O lançamento de hoje está com um T-0 definido para as 10 horas e 36 minutos BRT, então o lançamento vai ocorrer às 10 horas e 36 minutos. Essas imagens que a gente está vendo agora são imagens ao vivo de Kourou, na Guiana Francesa. A órbita que o foguete Vega vai trabalhar hoje é uma órbita heliosíncrona. A órbita heliosíncrona é um caso particular de uma quase-órbita polar. O satélite ele viaja do Polo Norte para o Polo Sul e vice-versa. mas o seu plano de órbita é sempre fixo para um observador que esteja postado no Sol. Então esse satélite ele vai pegar Sol praticamente 24 horas por dia sem parar, por conta de que ele vai viajar só entre os polos. Relembrando que a gente tem também algumas órbitas que são bastante trabalhadas por grandes empresas. A gente tem a órbita geoestacionária usada principalmente como satélites. A gente também teve um exemplo da Viasat. A gente, além da órbita geoestacionária, tem a de baixa órbita, que seria a LEO. Nós também temos a órbita heliosíncrona, órbita polar, órbita média da Terra, órbita terrestre alta e órbitas excêntricas. Uma curiosidade do foguete que está sendo trabalhado hoje, que é o Vega, ele é um foguete que ele tem 3 estágios de combustível sólido e 14 estágios abastecidos com líquido. Uma das diferenças de capacidade de carga extra é de 800 kg e um aumento de mais de 1/3 para cerca de pouco mais de 2 toneladas métricas, com os estágios principais maiores, maior carenagem e o Vegas maior. provedora do lançamento de hoje é a Arianespace. A Arianespace é uma companhia francesa fundada em 1980 com a finalidade de produzir e operar foguetes espaciais, Ariane 4 e Ariane 5, que fazem parte do programa espacial Ariane.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Road to Space. I'm Lisa Peterson and I'll be your host for this live commentary on Arianespace's flight VV23 on board the lightweight launcher Vega. With me in the studio to provide a deeper insight into tonight's mission is Samuel Rogers. Good evening, Samuel.
Good evening, Liz.
So two main passengers, Theos-2 and Formosat-7R Triton from Thailand and Taiwan respectively, taking to the skies for tonight's mission entitled Golden Horizon to illustrate the collaboration between the two countries as they embark on their celestial journey together. An additional 10 CubeSats are also piggybacking a ride aboard the mission. Just over 20 minutes to liftoff, and we're going to go straight to the heart of the action in Jupiter Mission Control to speak to Arianespace CEO Stéphane Israël. Stéphane is in the fishbowl and we'll be connecting with him anytime now. Hello, Stéphane, and welcome to Road to Space.
Good evening, Liz, and welcome to the Jupiter Control Center.
So, Stéphane, can you elaborate a bit more on tonight's mission, please?
Yes, so tonight we are going to deliver our 21st Vega, and we will have on board two main passengers, Theos-2 for Thailand. It is a satellite which has been manufactured by Airbus, and we have Formosat-7R Triton for the Taiwan Space Agency.
And of course, there are the 10 auxiliary passengers, which are piggyback riding with the cube, with the two other main passengers. So they're hitching on board Vega. What makes this mission so special?
This is exactly that. What makes this mission special is the fact that we have two main passengers, but also 10 auxiliary passengers. 6 of them are for the European Commission. And if we are able to deliver this very complex mission, it's because Vega is very versatile, and it's due to our system, which is called the SSMS system, which has flown for the first time 3 years ago in September 2020.
And so, last but not least, could you share with us the main milestones to look out for tonight?
Definitely. So we are now a few minutes before liftoff. We need the satellites to be ready. They are ready. We need the launcher to be ready, and the launcher is ready. And we need the weather to be with us, and the weather is also green tonight. So we are going to lift off at 10:36. We will have the separation of the two main passengers after 53 minutes, and after 1 hour and 43 minutes, we will have the separation of the 10 auxiliary passengers.
Thank you so much, Stéphane, and good luck for tonight. And we'll be speaking to you shortly after separation of our main passengers.
Thank you, Liz.
So you heard it from Stéphane. We're all set for tonight's launch. The teams in Jupiter are now focusing on final preparations ahead of liftoff. You can see them right behind Stéphane. Tell us, Samuel, take us through the key events that we can expect during tonight's mission.
Yes, so first, Vega lift will take place from the Arianespace Center in South America towards north. It will be triggered by the ignition of the P-80, which is the first solid stage of the Vega launcher. It will burn for about 2 minutes, and then a separation command will be sent to cut out the stage and separate it. This will be followed by the ignition of the second stage, Zefiro-23, which will take over from the P-80 and continue increasing the launcher speed. It will then be separated, and this time it is the Zefiro-9 that will provide the launcher thrust. Zefiro-9 will operate for almost 3 minutes, and during this phase we'll separate the fairing, which was protecting the satellites across the atmosphere. Then the third stage, Zephyr-9, will be separated. And next comes an important step, the first ignition of the upper stage, the AVUM, which is a rather special stage because it uses liquid propellants. It will be shut down about 7 minutes later, and we will have then a long phase known as the ballistic phase, which will lead us over Australia, where we will carry out the second ignition of the AVUM. Shortly after, we'll separate simultaneously Theos-2 and Formosat-7R, and at the same time, as you see. Then we'll reignite the AVUM upper stage for the third time to reduce the orbit altitude. And after this burn, we'll wait for another ballistic phase to take us over Cuba, where we can have the fourth ignition of the AVUM and the separation of the CubeSats.
Thank you so much for all of that. Super clear. Liftoff scheduled in just over 15 minutes' time. We'll be hearing all the major milestones of tonight's mission that Samuel has just been telling us about. We'll be hearing them from the mouth of the Range Operations Manager, or the DDO, as we call him in Kourou. Tonight it's Axel Serge, and next to him is tonight's Mission Director, Bruno Hérin. And our two main passengers are due to separate simultaneously, as Samuel was telling us, some 54 minutes after the launch, while our CubeSats will be released 50 minutes later. So let's take a closer look at one of our two main passengers, Triton.
Triton, a Taiwan-developed weather satellite, also known as Wind Hunter, is a remarkable feat of modern technology. It is set to revolutionize the understanding of our planet, from the depths of the oceans to the height of the atmosphere. This mission payload, co-developed by the Taiwan Space Agency TASA and its academic partners, is the Global Navigation Satellite System Reflectometry, or GNSSR, an Earth observation technique allowing the satellite to take measurements of ocean wind speeds.
Formosat-7 and Triton embody Taiwan's dedication, pushing the boundary of space exploration. As we forge ahead, we are confident that Triton's contribution will transcend borders, enriching Taiwan and the global scientific community. Together, we embark on an exciting era of cosmic explorations and groundbreaking innovations.
One of Triton's key missions is to provide observations over ocean areas prone to severe weather systems. In an era where climate issues are at the forefront of global concern, Triton plays a crucial role gathering essential data on sea surface roughness to retrieve wind speeds. Its real-time data transmission capabilities allow scientists to track events of natural disasters with unparalleled precision and to predict typhoon intensity, as Taiwan is greatly affected by typhoons every year. Triton can provide nearly 70,000 observations in these areas in a single day.
The launch of Triton demonstrates Taiwan has the capacity to independently design, manufacture, and operate satellites. Taiwan is one of the most reliable international partners in the industry of space technology.
Triton's data collection is not just about understanding our planet, it's about safeguarding it for future generations.
And we'll be taking a closer look at our second main passenger shortly. But first, we'd like to point out a panel which is very important in Jupiter Mission Control, a panel all eyes are focused on ahead of the mission, Samuel.
Yeah, it's a panel that summarizes all the status of all the systems and subsystems that are necessary and needed to achieve this launch. You can see it on the right of the screen. It's like a traffic light. If it's green, you can go ahead. If it's red, you'd better stop. For instance, we can have a red status. It could come from the weather or the lightning risk we are looking at, or if there is any trouble with the antennas which are following the launcher. Of course, the satellite and the launcher have also their parameters which are monitored, and they can raise a red if need be in case of trouble.
Absolutely. So, as I said, we're now going to check out the other main passenger, Earth observation satellite Theos-2.
Today on board Vega is Theos-2, the latest advancement in Thailand's Earth observation satellite program, developed in partnership with the aerospace giant Airbus Defence and Space. Theos-2 satellite, short for Thailand Earth Observation Satellite 2, is part of the second generation of Thailand's GISTA Earth Observation System, succeeding the highly successful Theos-1.
After operating the Theos-1 satellite for around 15 years, Thailand decided to renew its partnership with Airbus with the Theos-2 program. Theos-2 is a very compact satellite, providing images with a 50 centimeter resolution. The satellite is also very agile, meaning it can take many pictures over a large area.
Theos-2 will capture very high-resolution images of the Earth's surface with great detail and accuracy. These images provide invaluable data for a wide range of applications, from agriculture and forestry management to disaster response and urban planning. In daily life, data allows for a precise and thematic mapping of cities. In crisis situations, the satellite can deliver real-time images to respond to climate emergencies in high-risk areas.
This achievement results from a 5-year collaboration between GISA and Airbus. Theos-2 represents the next big leap in Thailand Earth observation capabilities, with endless possibilities. Theos-2 opens the door to promising business partners, both local and global scale. We look forward to the positive impacts of this very high resolution satellite for our communities, environment, and the entire world.
In an era marked by environmental challenges, Thailand, with its partner of choice Airbus, demonstrates how international collaboration can help to address global issues. Theos-2 will help strengthen Thailand's national space industry and economy, making the nation one of the few in the world with sovereign access to very high-resolution geostrategic information.
And as we were saying, below our main passengers are 10 CubeSats, which will be released about 50 minutes after Theos-2 and Triton, thanks to a specifically designed dispenser called SSMS, as Stefan was telling us. SSMS is able to accommodate pretty much any combination of passengers. Isn't that right, Samuel?
Yes, correct, exactly. SSMS stands for Small Spacecraft Mission Service. It's a dispenser system which is really flexible. It was already flown on several Vega missions. The first one was mentioned by Stefan in 2020 with 53 satellites on board, which were launched at the same time for this proof of concept flight. Then in 2021, we had an hexagonal module supporting a main passenger and carrying also auxiliary passengers. And today, this time, we have 2 satellites on the upper platform and 4 CubeSat deployers on the hexagonal module.
And 6 of our CubeSats were deployed as part of the European Space Agency's in-orbit demonstration and validation program. Let's check it out.
The European Commission is currently at the forefront of pioneering space technology thanks to its orbit demonstration IOD and in-orbit validation IOV missions. The 6 satellites flying today will enable new technologies to be tested and gain flight heritage. The European Commission provides free-of-charge services for aggregation aboard satellites, launch and operations with the support of ESA. The IOD-IOV services not only drive scientific discovery, but also contribute to the growth of industries, to improving the everyday lives of individual citizens and to the resilience of our planet. They enable scientists and engineers to verify the performance of innovative instruments and provide students with invaluable experience in real-world space programs.
Great day for U-Space. Today with Vega, we are boosting our scientific and technological leadership. Vega has embarked 6 satellites that have benefited from the in-orbit validation, in-orbit demonstration program of the European Union. In total, these are 9 experiments that we put into orbit from universities, research centers, and SMEs covering space, science, technology, population, or space environment. And coming from 5 countries, Belgium, Spain, Estonia, France, and Czechia. This is Europe by excellence. Indeed, we give the chance to new space companies as we are procuring the satellite from a very innovative company, Arianespace, in the Netherlands. This is also a new territory for the Commission. For the first time ever, we have aggregated a set of different technologies and experiments on two CubeSats that we have called SynDeo-1 and SynDeo-2. SynDeo is the Greek name for putting together connecting, because this is what we do, building bridges across Europe.
Amongst the 9 IOD-IOV experiments on board Vega is S-Cube-2. This 3-unit CubeSat satellite, conceived by a group of students from the University of Tartu in Estonia, will gather scientific data on vegetation and test a new method to help keep space clean of debris. Another one is ANSWER, a cluster of 3 satellites from the Spanish Institute of Aerospace Technology, INTA, working together to study and monitor the quality of water in the reserves of the Iberian Peninsula.
This is the first step. Our IOD-IOV program will continue to grow. Stay tuned.
And in addition to the 6 IOD-IOV CubeSats already mentioned in the movie there are 4 more on board. Samuel, you can tell us a little bit more about them.
Yes, of course. So there is NES first for CNES, the French Space Agency, with a demonstrator to detect and localize interfering emissions on the Earth. Then there is PRETI for Graz University in Austria. Then MAXSAT for OQ Technology in Luxembourg. And finally, we have PVCC for Aerospace Lab and ESA. And these CubeSats embark a wide range of payloads or demonstrators.
Mm-hmm. And on the ground in Kourou, the teams are really hard at work as we prepare for liftoff. And very near to the actual Vega launch pad is the Vega Launch Center. You could just see before Jupiter Mission Control. And here we are in the Vega Launch Center, the so-called CDL. It's a bit like a cockpit on the ground, right?
Yes, exactly. There are several teams in Guyana. In fact, they are the one in Jupiter building, which is kind of the control tower of the Guyana Space Center. And you have the Vega Launch Center on the screen here. So it's a building called Pandora, and it's located in the Centre Technique, very close to Jupiter, in fact. Inside this building, you can find all the launcher and launch complex operations teams, as well as the technical authorities. And this team, as you see, manage and monitor all the last-minute operations leading to the launch up to the very last second.
So here you go. You see the teams hard at work, and we're going to be hearing in the next few seconds one of the very important milestones of tonight's mission. That's the start of the synchronized sequence.
Attention pour la séquence finale, lanceur.
There we go.
Top à 0 moins 4 minutes.
Here we have it. -4 to lift off. We've just heard the DDO announce the start of the synchronized sequence. What does it mean, Samuel?
It's a very important step because it marks the start of the final phase that will prepare for takeoff and gradually give the launcher full autonomy to proceed with the liftoff. So it includes several sub-steps, such as the loading of the takeoff time and the flight program software inside the launcher onboard computer. At the end of this synchronized sequence, the launcher is completely autonomous to carry out the final operations to the liftoff.
And we can see it here on the launch pad, but the first parts arrived in Kourou back in June.
Yes, back in June by sea, as you've seen on the screen, at the port of Kourou, and were then transported by road to the Space Center. Then the P-80 first stage, as you see on the screen, arrives on the launch pad. It's hoisted and integrated into the mobile gantry. Then we have the second stage, Zefiro-23, which is lifted and assembled on the P-80. And step by step, we are building an assembly of solid rocket boosters with the Zefiro-9 last step coming on top of Zefiro-23. Finally, it's the AVUM upper stage, which arrives in a container, and it's integrated on top of the Zefiro-9 stage. As for the satellites, Theos-2 arrived by plane in August and was prepared in special facilities, clean rooms with a very controlled atmosphere. And there were a number of operations that were carried out in autonomy. Then Theos was integrated onto its adapter and filled with propellants. You can see the special suits we have used. For Formosat, it arrived in Guyana by plane in July, and it followed a similar path with preparation, integration onto its adapter, and propellant filling. The CubeSat deployer were integrated on the hexagonal module below the platform. We had, as we said, 4 deployers mounted for this mission. Then Formosat-7R and Theos-2 were integrated on top on the SMS upper platform. Once the assembly was complete, it was enveloped in the fairing, which protects the satellites for the next phase of the mission. The upper composite was then transferred to the launch zone on a mobile platform and hoisted on the top of the launcher. Then, once the launcher is ready, we remove the mobile gantry and we have the launcher ready for flight.
And there we see it, standing tall with passengers big and small, safe under the fairing. In a few seconds, the DDO is going to announce the 1-minute mark ahead of liftoff. You can see people here in Jupiter making their way to the terraces, the lucky few who get to see the launch live from Jupiter's
Attention pour moins
terraces.
d'une minute. Top à 0, moins 1 minute.
Samuel and I are going to interrupt our commentary now and let you sit back and enjoy the launch.
À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. À tous de DDO, arrêt du temps des comptes suite à un rouge, autorisation de lancement. La chronologie est définitivement arrêtée pour aujourd'hui.
So it seems there has been a red. So a red is, it's not bad news for our launcher or for our passengers. As we said, they are safe and sound under the fairing. It is one of those moments that happen when, for one reason or another, which we will be able to fill you in with, and Samuel might be able to give us a few explanations, we have decided to halt, to stop the launch for tonight, and another date will be set soon. So Samuel, what could this be? What's this red?
In fact, there are several
Faltando cerca de 14 segundos para o lançamento, a Arianespace deu um hold na contagem regressiva. O hold, no caso, seria uma segurada na contagem regressiva, então ele vai ficar com esses 14 segundos parados por enquanto até eles analisarem a situação. Isso não significa um abort, mas no caso eles ainda têm que analisar a situação para ver como que vai se proceder o lançamento.
To launch the Vega today if something is not ready to operate. So that's why there is a red here.
Keeping the passengers safe, and of course we will be keeping you informed. We are discovering this at the same time, of course, as you, Samuel and I here. So we are waiting for further news, of course, from the flight desk, and we will be informing you as soon as we have more about a next launch date. And please stay tuned. We'll be with you shortly again.
Segundo o que a Arianespace conseguiu retirar de informações meio por cima.
Yes, so as we were saying, we've just been listening to the information given to us in our earpieces, so please do stay tuned to our social media. We will be keeping you informed as soon as we have any news about a new launch date for our Vega, for this VV23.
Então o lançamento de hoje foi abortado por uma questão de que algumas peças não acabaram, uma parte do foguete não está operando de forma correta. Então, no caso, Algumas informações sobre o que ocasionou essa abordagem no lançamento vão ser repassadas no nosso X e também nas notícias da semana no nosso site oficial.
On our social media platforms. So stay with us for now. We'll be back shortly. So we're back with you. So just a quick reminder, there has been a red, which means, of course, that we cannot launch tonight. Again, as I was saying, no risk for our passengers. They are safe and sound, as you can see, under the fairing of our launcher, which is on the pad. Samuel, as we were saying, of course, the red is actually good news for our passengers because it means we're taking zero risks, right?
Yes, exactly. We prefer avoiding any launch attempt in case there is any failure of any mean necessary to make the launch. So here, apparently, it's on the launch base, so it's better avoiding an attempt tonight.
Yeah, and it's one of the ones that's the most difficult to explain. A weather red is easier because we can say, well, risk of lightning. Here, we actually don't have the precise information as to what the reason might be, so do stay connected on our social media platforms. We will be giving you any news we have as soon as we have it, and of course, we'll be keeping you informed on a new launch date for our Vega mission VV23, so stay tuned. We're going to now be handing back for now, wishing you a great evening for what's left of it, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye-bye, Samuel.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Goodbye to all of you, and thank you for being with us live here tonight.
Agradecemos por sintonizar até o próximo lançamento.